We saved a man's life today. The day really started out just like any other day. Um, Me and my son and my buddy were going to go and go fishing. So we went and picked him up, grabbed the boat, uh, headed up north. And we got to the first spot that we wanted to fish. And for some reason, the boat motor that has always been a two-pole start boat motor decided not to start. So we fished for a little while. It was early in the morning. We got off the water, still very early in the morning, probably 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. And we decided we were going to head to the parts store or the hardware store or whatever. We were going to buy some fuel line and some hose clamps because we figured we had a fuel line that was leaking. So we went and did that. Didn't fix it. So we decided we were going to just head home, drop the boat off at a buddy's house and go fish on the river somewhere. But for whatever reason, when we were talking to somebody on the phone, he said it sounded like the float valve was stuck on our carburetor. And I got the wheels turning in my head, and I thought, as a chemical operator, when we get stuff stuck in lines, we'll kind of just beat on them with a rubber mallet or something like that, and sometimes that'll free things up. So I said, well, let's stop off at this rest stop and let's just give it a try. Well, we pulled a couple things off the carburetor and we tapped on it with some rubber handled channel locks, and I'll be damned, it fixed it. So we turned back around. We had only come down the road probably about 10 minutes. And we went to the second lake that we wanted to fish that day. We had gone and fished that lake a couple weekends ago. So we got up there and we fished and we fished and we fished and we did good. We caught quite a few fish. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a meeting that I had to be at 7 o'clock. So I was pretty strict that I wanted to be off the water by 4:30 so I could get back home. My dog come down to see me. I want to be off the water by 4:30 so I could be back home, get cleaned up, go to my meeting. So we decided to start heading back towards the boat launch. And when we did, we saw this spot that we had fished earlier in the day. I said, let's stop here and see if we can catch a couple more. So we did. We stopped. And we caught a couple more, but nothing real serious. And I said, all right, let's go. Well, my buddy said, no, come on, let's try one more spot. 5 minutes at one more spot. And I said, no, I have to go to this meeting. I have to be there on time. I got stuff I want to do before that. Let's go. He says, yeah, you're right. I had never in a million years thought that decision would save someone's life. As we started getting to the boat launch, I could see a man standing on the dock waving his arms, and I could see that there was a boat floating out away from the launch. We were probably 100 yards away still, maybe a little more, maybe 200 yards. I really don't know. And I said, all right. I waved at him. I said, we'll help you out, thinking that his boat just floated away and he didn't know how to get it. The boat turned just a little bit in the water, and I saw a man with his arms straight up in the air, clinging for dear life to the edge of that boat. So I told my buddy that was driving the boat, I said, come on, get up here. We need to push this boat in. And he still had not seen that man hanging onto the boat. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen anybody that's clinging to something for dear life. It was unsettling. We got up to the boat. Finally, my buddy saw that there was somebody there. I mean, there was no time to really communicate. And I said to this man, I said, "Hey, are you okay?" He says, "I don't have much longer," which meant he wasn't going to be able to hold on much longer. So I grabbed the boat with one hand, and I grabbed his arm with my other hand, and I told him, "I got you. Don't worry, I got you." We were probably about 20 yards, 30 yards off the shore. It felt like a millennia just trying to get into shore with him. When I looked at him, he started to cough, and he had been spitting up blood for a few minutes at least. We got him up to shore, and I ended up jumping into waist-deep water with my pants and boots and everything on just to set him up because he couldn't set up. He was so exhausted. I finally drug him up on shore, got him up on the dock, and laid him down. We called 911. And that was when the old man that was standing on the dock, we kind of started to put one or two and two together. The guy in the water was the son, and the old man on the dock was the dad. Son was 64. Dad was 87, I think he said. And the dad looked at me and said, "Man, if you guys hadn't come along, I was getting ready to jump in." And I looked at him and I said, "If you had jumped in, you both would be dead." Neither one of them had, the life jackets were on the boat. If we had stopped at that last spot, see if we could catch a few more for 5 minutes, that guy would be dead. If we hadn't stopped at that rest stop, tried one last ditch effort to get this motor running, that guy would be dead. If we had left an hour earlier, like we originally were going to, that guy would be dead. Sometimes there's things that happen that make you think, why did that happen that way? Or why did it have to happen that way? Or why didn't things go right? Or why didn't things go wrong? Our entire day went wrong up until the point where we fixed that boat motor. And then everything after that went right. Everything. I was late to my meeting. I don't care. There's a guy in Clare right now in the hospital. It's very grateful for the fact that our boat motor didn't start this morning. And he doesn't even know it. And Tom, if by some miracle, by some act of God, there were so many of them today, you happen to see this video, I just want to say to you, I'm so glad that we got to you when we did.